It is week 19 of Let's Chat with Kat and Pat. In this week's episode, Kat and Pat talk about their recent trip to Nashville and the wonder that is running into hot young ladies while you're in the bathroom. That's right, unisex bathroom talk and plain etiquette. We thought we had seen it all until we saw this. All that and more coming up right now on this week's edition of Let's Chat with Kat and Pat.
It is week 19 of Let's Chat with Kat and Pat. Patrick Gilroy alongside Katrina Pateri. We're on schedule, we're on time, and we are at home. All three of those things are big victories considering we've only been home for 36 hours. And the victories, they haven't been a comin' of late.
Yeah.
It's been a challenging return to home, Katrina. I'm glad that we're here, and I'm glad that we didn't rip each other's throats out, because I think a lot of couples that had the sort of a continuation of last week, things that don't work, things that aren't working, projects that should be easy. I think a lot of couples would not have successfully made it through the weekend and still be together.
I know. I mean, I was on the edge this morning when the internet went.
That was my fault.
Well, you were not good with wires, and I guess we should open it up. So we did. We'll start with the stuff that doesn't work, and then we'll end with Nashville trip.
Sure.
Those are things that we committed on.
Why not?
We came home from our Nashville trip, and we needed to install the new DIY mini split that we ordered because our two air conditioners that we previously had for the living room were on the fritz. One wouldn't work because it was too filled up with water and couldn't properly drain. So we put a different air conditioner in upside down, which does drain, but drains in the house instead of outside the house.
No, we put it in sideways, not upside down. Mm-hmm. And the only reason we did that is not because we don't know which way an air conditioner is supposed to go. We've got archaic picture window. So you've got the big window in the front and the small ones to the right and left. And that's really it for windows in the living room. So the only option for a window unit is to take a small unit to begin with and then turn it on its head. And that's what we did. And it's a shame because it actually keeps the room nice and cold. Unfortunately, it pisses water all over the floor and the furniture and everything else.
Which creates a whole other issue.
Yes.
So when we're going on affordability and options and things breaking, we're running out of options.
So we get the DIY mini split.
Which is still expensive, but significantly more affordable than hiring somebody to come out and do it.
It's expensive.
And, we always think we can do this, but we found the rebates.
We found rebates. We had a gift card, tax write-off. So at the end of the day, it's not going to cost us much at all. And it's only a single unit one. It's nothing big, but it's a DIY version, meaning you're not supposed to have to refrigerate the lines and add the coolant and anything like that. You're not supposed to have to decompress the lines and vacuum them out. That's what makes it DIY. Now, there are electrical components to it as well. So you and I did all the heavy lifting yesterday. We got the window, we got the wall unit installed, which involved cutting a 3-inch hole from the inside to the outside of the house, which was another shit show.
We did have a stud finder. Oh gosh, I can't even speak. We did have a stud finder.
Yep.
And Patrick couldn't find a stud, so he looks like a stud, can't find a stud to save his life, then decides to tell me there is no stud here.
Well, it was giving us false readings, was it not? You were right there.
Yeah, so I thought we had it, we don't have it, whatever. I'll let you be the man and take the lead here and then tell me where I can go, and then I'll do the measurements, and I know my role. We had started off the morning arguing over this air conditioner thing, so I want to keep my distance and try to get through the day.
The fucking thing was supposed to come with all of this stuff, right? So the DIY part of it, it's supposed to come with the hookup to hook it into the panel in the house for power. It's supposed to come with a junction box. It is supposed to come with what they call a wire, a connectivity wire. So essentially, the unit in the house speaks to the unit outside. It didn't come with any of those things, although on the pack list, it says
should be there.
That they should be there. So yeah, I was a little torqued up about it.
And the other thing is you can't just walk into a store and buy it. You have to order it, have it delivered to Home Depot, then go and pick it up. So to do an exchange, you'd have to return it, order it again, wait a week or so, and pick it up. So that was not an option. So it's how can we get these parts to have it be convenient so we're not living in a house that's 90 degrees upstairs. We have the Celtics playoffs coming. We want our living room to be comfortable. I'm running out of options of cooking on the grill, so I don't use a stove. we're working with this.
We're working with it.
So we go to do the 3-inch hole, and he is fighting with the wall and can't get there.
Well, because we have this special drill bit that we got it's a circular head with a saw blade, and it's supposed to, you watch the videos and you put a little bit of pressure against the wall and zzz, and this thing was fighting back at me. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? And it kept fighting. I felt so weak, so then I would put all 200 pounds of me into it, and I'm flexing my muscles, and it's going nowhere. Turns out.
So then you go out to the garage cursing, all mad, trying to figure out a different solution, and me and my HGTV home remodel.
You've seen other people.
I was like, well, people just break down walls like no problem with like the back of a hammer, so let me at least start. And I find that you're trying, half of it's in the stud, half of it's not in the stud, and that's why you can't get in. So we need to move 2 inches to the left.
Yep.
And then also move the bracket so we could hide the hole.
So down comes the bracket, and out come the 10 screws, and we start all over again.
With the anchors and all.
Do the whole thing all over again.
Now we know where the stud is, though, so we have like 2 good screw holes in there.
1,000%. So next time we know where the stud is. But at this point, we've got the hole in the wall on the outside and the inside, and the inside unit is hooked onto the bracket, and we've successfully run the lines from the back of the inside unit to the outside of the house.
Including drilling the outside of the house.
Correct.
Too.
So we had to do a separate hole in the outside because essentially the bit wasn't long enough to punch through everything.
Right.
So we had to take a small drill bit and do a pilot hole, and then go outside and drill another 3-inch hole. But we did all of that.
And I got to use my old school MECP car audio certification.
Oh, yeah.
And
big shot.
Do all the wiring and the harness and everything so that we could have that set for success for the electrician friend that we have in town, who I said you should call a week ago, who was wonderful about dropping off
he was a
last minute.
You were right. I was wrong. However, I mean, it did cost us $300 for his help. And I know that's about half price. He told me today it's about half price because he had 2 guys here and was here for an hour and 40 minutes.
Well,
billed for 2 hours.
One of the things didn't even work.
Right. One of the things the junction
amp that we bought,
the junction box we bought, it didn't work.
It was dead.
No
it was
good.
DOA.
So everything's all hooked up. He says, all right, let's go fire the thing up, try it. And
nothing.
No power, no nothing. So he traces it back to that junction box. And he says to me, so funny. He says, where'd you get this? I said, Home Depot. And he said, it's a GE, right? I said, yeah. He goes, piece of shit. They're all counterfeit. I don't know how they're getting away with it. So it's something he runs into all the time. Luckily, he didn't have not one van with him, but 2, because he had his apprentice with him. So he had a mobile unit stocked full of everything that we needed, including the right communication wire that he dropped off yesterday for us. Because he did an HVAC job somewhere else, and another guy left that roll of wire there, and he's like, I'm just going to grab it because at some point I'm going to need it.
And it was heaven to my eyes because that's exactly what I needed.
It was perfect.
For the indoor unit to the outdoor unit.
It was perfect. So at this point, we've got the inside unit hooked up, outside unit is hooked up, no power. He takes off the GE unit, puts on his unit, we got power. So we think we're good at this point.
And I've also made a little joke to Norm that, like, you're not a wire guy. Like, I'm the one who can speak wire. Like, we're good.
I know.
So we're all ready to go.
We're all ready to go. And then as Norm is wrapping up and we're paying him for his electrical services, you come running outside and you say...
I think the cable's just unplugged. Nope, we have cut the fiber optic Fios Fidium wire.
But the joke of it, and here's where I'm the asshole.
And again, where Patrick does not know about wires.
Norm, okay, yeah, it's not my fault. Norm did say, because he was down there trying to clean stuff up and make enough room. And by the way, you were wrong about the hole in there. I did have to expand it a little bit to get it through. But that's good for tomorrow when the new wire comes.
Well, because then,
anyways, so he says, hey, this Verizon box here, there's a wire coming out of it. Can I cut that? Or do you use it for something? I said, the Verizon box? Cut it. Take it the fuck down. I bought this house in 2013. I've never had Verizon. That thing has been there since the day I bought the house. It's an eyesore. Cut it away.
Meanwhile, it has housed Comcast Internet and now Fidium Fios.
It makes no sense to me. You would think that Fidium would somehow flag their wire. They would put something on it that says, do not touch, do not cut, Fidium fiber. They don't do that. It's fine. So Norm cuts it, and then he panics. He's like, this is fiber optic. I can't splice this. I can't fix this. In his defense, he tried to make a few phone calls to see if he could find a proper fiber wire and struck out miserably.
Well, I mean, so
they're a
public
nightmare.
Service announcement. You can't find it anywhere. So after Best Buy, Staples.
So after,
this is where Radio Shack
they were great.
Was fantastic, and unfortunately, we don't have that anymore.
So let's just, before we even get to Best Buy and Staples and I went to the Verizon store and lied to them and said I've got FiOS because it uses the same wire. And the guy looked at me. He's like, "Yeah, we sell cell phones." So it was no help whatsoever. But anyways, you can't get this at most normal places. But I did call Fidium on the phone, and after waiting on hold for 90 minutes, I get Eduardo, whose English is rough. It's rough. And I explained to him what happened, and I may have exaggerated a little bit, said, you run a small business from home, which is true.
Well, it's on the account.
We need the internet to work here.
Yeah.
We've got kids, and it powers everything. Without the internet, we don't have TV. Without the internet, you can't work.
Yeah.
It literally, all our smart devices, we need the internet to work. So he says, well, the fastest appointment I can get a FiOS guy out to you is on the 5th, which is 2 days from now.
Right. Meanwhile, I am had to cancel my weekly site director call with 12 of my team members. My work hotspot that work provides me with has been on the fritz, but I've been on a budget crunch, so I haven't ordered a new one because I'm under so much pressure for budgets, and I have summer program starting where I'm going to be making the money come 4th of July. I'm like, I'll just wait, and then I can order it, and then I can squeak it in with nobody being upset. So I've had my work on the fritz hotspot. So then I have to use my personal cell phone hotspot, which in the basement and for whatever reason in this area, the bars weren't strong. So I've got everything jimmy rigged in the window with charging plugs so that I can have one computer on my work hotspot, one computer on my personal cell phone hotspot, so that way, as I'm dealing with one work thing, I can start dealing with another thing on the other computer and just play the wait game like it's the AOL dial-up, and you're like do with the song, and you're just waiting.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. So, long story short, Fidium is supposed to be here the day after tomorrow. You were able to find one online that is going to show up tomorrow, but that still didn't solve our problem today.
Amazon Prime, they're going to wake me up with the Ring doorbell, 4 a.m. to 8 a.m.
Hopefully they
happening.
do. Okay, but we still needed something today.
In the meantime. So thank God our kids are obsessed with computers that we know of the computer store in Cambridge.
I don't know why my phone is now making mail sounds. It's never made them before.
I wonder if it heard me like, you've got mail.
Like it keeps on telling me I've got mail, and I've had that thing silenced since the day I got the phone because it's annoying. And now that we're recording, it's just going to go.
I didn't
ring,
hear
ring.
it. I think only you can hear it.
So there's a store in Cambridge by MIT called Micro Center. It's like 50 miles from here. And the drive home took me an hour and a half. Mm-hmm. It was ridiculous. Luckily, I had 2 conference calls, so it didn't matter if I was in the office or not. I could take them while I was on the road. So I was able to go there, despite the fact that they had long ones online. I got there, they only had short ones. I bought multiple with jumper cables to put the 2 together.
It's called a coupler.
A coupler, whatever,
yeah.
Coupler. So we do that, and the internet works. Yay. I find out later it's working at about 10% of the speed it's supposed to work at.
But for your son.
But at least it's working.
Yes.
At least we can watch TV when we go to bed tonight. He's not complaining because he can watch
to record our podcast on time, which was questionable.
It was. A few hours ago.
We were like KP. We were questionable whether or not we could play.
It's not a calf injury, though. It's an
internet, a FiOS.
I told the electrician to cut the line. So we got internet up, and it's going to get better tomorrow. That's a victory. Now, the failure comes
when we get home from work and the new air conditioner's not working.
So I call every day that Connor comes here, my son. I call him when he gets home from school, check in with him, and he's like, "Dad, the new air conditioner looks great. Unfortunately, it's blowing warm air into the house." So I turned on the window unit. I'm like, "The leaky window unit?" He's like, "What?" So I couldn't even get it. I just let it ride for a little while.
Well, because then we're dealing with the internet issue, and then the backed up calls, and then we're doing work on the roads.
We didn't notice.
We haven't had a chance to take the window unit out.
We haven't done
Maybe tomorrow.
But we didn't really notice that the new unit wasn't blowing cold. We haven't been home.
Yeah.
So then I realized I do a quick little recap in my brain. I Google it. I'm like, shit, we missed a step. So I immediately call my son, and I'm like, you got to please go to the living room. And getting him off his headphones and his computer is not easy. I give him credit.
He was also trying to use his computer via hotspot. Mr. Loves the high internet speed for gaming, so this is excruciating.
He was great, though. He ran out there and he turned it off, because if I let that thing run for multiple hours, we're in danger of burning it out at that point. So he turns it off for me. Luckily, tonight, the end of the story is good news. All we did was I failed to...
I reminded you.
You did, but I failed to open up those nuts on the side there and then use the Allen wrench to torque it back and allow the refrigerant to go through. Mm-hmm. So the very last thing that we did before coming down to return the podcast was restart the air conditioner. And lo and behold, it is blowing cold. So we have a functional mini split on a budget, and dare I say that you and I did 90% of the work to get that thing in there.
We currently have Mickey Mouse internet that hopefully will also be able to solve and correct tomorrow.
One problem. It's we go into the weekend with one major project to get done, and
6 more come out. It's like my work email. Every time I solve 10 or 12 different things, I get to take a bathroom break, come back, and I got 20 more.
1,000%. It happens every single time. So that's where we're at now. We do want to go back and quickly recap Nashville, because there were some things that happened that are just unbelievable, and some of them are brilliant. So, honey, we got to start with the flight out.
Yeah.
The flight out. We're on the plane, and we are in the 2-row exit row. The 2-seat exit row. We're flying out of Boston. We're in the 2-seater. So there's the seat on in the aisle, and then the middle seat, but there isn't a window seat, and we like those seats. They work for us. There's more space, and no stinky stranger is going to sit next to you.
And we are also capable of opening the doors in case of emergency.
1,000% we are. We'll get there, though.
Yeah.
I want to start with the ladies.
Okay.
So in front of us, there's 6 ladies, and it's another exit row. So you got exit row on the right, exit row on the left, and 6 ladies. They're all in their 60s, and they're all friends wearing matching T-shirts.
It's actually 4 ladies.
4 ladies. And
this becomes important in a minute.
They're going to Nashville for a girls' weekend, a girls' trip. But 2 of them have masks on, and that's fine. A lot of people wear masks. But one of them was coughing like crazy, and to the point where it felt like she was having trouble breathing. And her girlfriends are kind of laughing, but this does not seem like a laughing matter.
Watching everybody get on the flight, and everyone's excited. Oh, it's an exit row seat. It's available. And then she starts coughing.
Yeah, the middle seat.
Right. And the look on these people's faces.
People thought that somebody with COVID was hacking up a lung on the plane. So hundreds of people are walking by her, looking at the exit row seat available next to her in the middle, and saying, that seat looks good. And then she'd hack a big cough and they'd keep walking.
Well, and the looks on their faces. After the third one, I was hysterically laughing, and one of the women who didn't have a mask on, they were all together, was looking at me, giving me eyes, and I'm giving eyes as they're coughing, and at this point, I haven't picked up on, but something seems a little fishy.
I whispered in the ear of the one in front of me that's coughing. I said, this is fucking brilliant.
Yeah.
I saw what she was doing, and one of her friends overheard me, and they couldn't stop laughing at this point.
So now we're included in the inside joke of why they're coughing and doing this.
This is what they do when they go on girls' trips, to make sure that one of them has the window, one has the aisle, one has the window, one has the aisle, and they've got more room because they don't want anybody sitting in the middle seat. And somehow on a flight that they said was sold out, they managed to keep those middle seats free with
impressive.
Their COVID coughing game with the masks. And nobody was sick. Nobody had a problem. They are living their best lives in their 60s, doing what they want to do. And you know what? Fuck it. We've earned it. I don't want somebody sitting next to me. And they've now flipped COVID on its head, and they're using it to their advantage. And it is fucking brilliant. It takes balls.
Right. And then there's people that are in the seats ahead of them taking selfies and TikToking and posting. And she's going to us and she thinks she's so funny. And she's like, I'm going viral, but not in a sickness way.
Yeah.
And it was...
she thought she was
oh my God, that's a joke my dad would say, but I I started coughing. I was laughing so hard.
It was so awesome. Well played. It was a dirty trick, but I got to give him credit for it. Like, it's a dirty trick, but I can't get mad about it because you know that this is what these ladies do. They travel. Maybe they're widows. I don't know. But when they get together and they travel together, this is a well-executed plan. From A to Z, they know their role. They know what they're doing. And they do it without talking about it. They do it without sort of tapping each other on the shoulder. They just know their role. And depending on how many people are flooding onto that flight, I think that dictates how much coughing, placement of the mask, and every bit of this scam. But they have executed the scam so well that when the flight attendants caught on, they just let them keep going. It
was so funny. Like, what was that? Like, Impractical Jokers? What's that show?
Yeah,
yeah. Oh my God, it would be totally something that they would do, and you see all the react. Like, it was brilliant. And then we became part of the group, so then we got to hear that they were like, they had plans for one day to go to Tootsie's, they had plans one day to do line dancing, they had plans one day to go to the country music.
Yeah, the Hall of Fame. Yep. So they had a full weekend, and they got to enjoy not having somebody in the middle seat. And I only hope that on their flight home, they did the same thing again. Yeah. We weren't there for that. So that was the first part of the flight. Second part of the flight is both you and I we've talked so much about our divorces. We've talked so much about the exes, the things that we can't stand, the things that we wish they were better at. And there's certainly things that we wish we were better at when it comes to being parents. People have had their opinions about our parenting ability in the past. All that being said, I've never seen anything like what we saw here. So 2 rows in front is a father and son. First part of the exit. So the exit row is 3 rows. So
we're sitting in the same seats for the flight home too, by the way.
So this is the same type of deal, flight home, and dad's got the window seat. And 12, 13-year-old? Is that what it was?
Daughter, yeah.
12, 13-year-old daughter's in the middle seat.
And then flight attendant says, is she over 15?
Yeah, and dad says, nope.
Well, no. Dad doesn't say no.
Oh,
Mom begrudgingly says, no, she's only 12 years old.
Yeah.
As she's walking with the other 2 children who are clearly also under the age of 15.
So mom and other kids were headed to the back of the plane because that's all that was available for seats together. But dad snuck away with the oldest daughter and said, we're going to sneak her into the exit row. Mm-hmm. Flight attendant sort of caught on and
said no and kicked the girl out of the exit row. And dad said, you can go back. I'm staying here. I need the leg room.
So dad stayed and let his daughter. And by the time this happened, there's no way his daughter got to sit with her siblings and mom.
Yeah.
I mean, as it is, there were 2 siblings and mom, and there's only 3 people per row.
So she's sitting on her own, but then she had his snacks. So then as people are still boarding the plane, she's running the opposite way to bring him back a snack to then run back to her seat. Like this poor girl.
So dad wouldn't go with her to make sure that she had an adult to sit with. Dad didn't go with her to say, you know what, if you can't have the exit row, I don't want it either. Dad didn't say to her, you know what, it's only a 2-hour flight. You already went back there. You know he's texting feverishly. I need my Doritos. I need my snacks. Mm-hmm. So he's making this girl not only leave the exit row to go sit next to 2 stinky strangers, but then have to come running back. And it's like going the wrong way against traffic during gridlock.
Yeah.
It is not an easy thing to do. Mm-hmm. To make sure he had his proper snacks before we took flight. Mm-hmm. Just the balls on people. So that's no good. Like that is a bad parenting move. That is a bad father. We did not laugh, but we were shocked. So the 2 stories, the flight out.
Well, hold on. No, it gets better. It's then a woman sits in the middle seat next to him. And then he tells her the whole story. And he's like, yeah, I don't care how mad they are. I want the legroom. Like, I'm not stupid. I'm not sitting back there in the back of the plane. And then chatted up that woman.
Yeah.
The whole flight.
The whole flight.
And then took her bag down, is standing out at the end with her, and then is like, I'm not waiting for my family to get off the plane. They can come and find me at baggage claim.
It's a real gentleman.
And I'm just like, good grief. And they're just starting their vacation, and they were flying into Boston to then do the 6-hour drive to Bangor, Maine.
Yeah, sounds lovely. That drive.
I would love to be in the rental car with them.
My
just
God.
Not.
Well, I mean, forget it. You're going to Boston, and they don't know what they're getting into. The first thing they have to experience together after waiting a long time, I'm sure, for their bags is they got to pack those 3 kids that are angry at dad, mom that's angry at dad, onto a fucking bus. the Silver Line bus.
Yeah, to go in the
to
rental.
Go to rental cars. Like it's not an easy thing to do.
To then get in the car and drive 6 hours north.
Their day was just, by the time they landed in Boston, their day was just getting started, and Dad's hell vacation was just getting started.
Even better, when we go home, the tunnel's closed.
Oh my God!
And it's a detour.
Yep, the tunnel's closed again. So they had to run through all of that. They don't know what they're doing, where they're going. But that 2-hour flight, where Dad thought that he got the upper hand and he got the extra leg room and he got to chat up the girl next to him.
That was a good 8 hours of pure hell.
I'm sure
on the drive.
Chances are he is probably still paying dearly for his poor decision making. I know that if that were me with you, we would not have crossed the 72-hour threshold that you usually have before you can start being kind-ish to me. Mm-hmm. It's 72 hours for you to get kind-ish. It's a good 4 days before I get anything beyond a kiss on the cheek, and it's 2 weeks before sex when we have a blowout fight like that. Mm-hmm. Those people had a blowout fight. There's no way that wife let him get away with this.
No, but they've definitely been married over a decade.
So women been together almost half a decade.
I mean, it's probably just expected at this point, but dude, if you're traveling that way.
What a poor example to set for his daughter, though.
Well, not only that, but it's not worth the drive, the hassle, the everything. Take a flight from Boston to Bangor. Don't do the drive. It's
not even that. Bangor, Portland, they're both southwest destinations. So there had to be a better way to getting to where they were going
than renting a car and driving.
6 hours.
Well, 6 hours without traffic, without a tunnel being closed.
Right. I'm sure it was
a huge accident on the bridge.
I'm sure it was
from
8
New
hours.
Hampshire to Maine.
All right, so that's the we just bookended the trip, but there's some meat in the middle of the trip. Mm-hmm. So where do you want to start with the meat in the middle of the trip?
So, I don't know. I guess as we were driving to our hotel, which we love, the Virgin Hotel in Nashville.
Fabulous.
It's fantastic.
It is so good.
The customer service is on point.
You would think you're staying at a $600 a night hotel, and it's about a third of that. It is a fabulous, fabulous hotel. Customer service is like nothing you've ever seen before. The rooms are clean and large and nice. The pool deck area is amazing. I have nothing but good things to say about.
And we are so grateful to stay there because the last place we stayed in Nashville, which we forgot about.
Oh, yeah, the
until
elevator.
We got there, we actually got stuck in an elevator for over an hour.
Yeah, the fire department had to come rescue us.
Yes, and the fire department was so relieved that we looked like we were thin, fit people because they weren't going to be able to get the elevator moving for several hours.
They had to drop a ladder.
They dropped a ladder. We had to climb out, and we had to hoist ourselves up floor.
There was a real hoisting.
It was a significant hoisting. And the guy was like, "Can you do this?" And I was like, "I work out. I lift weights." And he's like, "Oh my God, that's awesome."
Yeah, it was. I mean, it was a little hairy, but it was fine.
I mean, we got a little dirty and stuff.
It's like something you see on TV.
Yeah.
We had to go through the ceiling of the elevator. So the drop ceiling that you see in a lot of basements, we have one in here.
Yeah.
That thing pushes up, and there's a box there with a big metal top that comes back, and the fire department.
But it's at 12 by 12.
You can't. If you're a big boy, a big girl, you can't get through.
It's not happening.
So the look. So all you look up and all you see is firefighter's face at this point. If I drop a ladder, do you guys think you can get up here? That was our option. That was our choice, and that was at a decent Marriott. But
it was a good Marriott, and then we get out. We get the whole experience. Now, mind you, we've been locked in. There's no air conditioning.
Oh, it was a good.
There's no cell phone.
95 degrees in there.
Yeah, it was hotter than that.
Remember how annoyed the person? The only communication we could have.
So pissed.
Only communication we had with anybody in the outside world was the call box in the elevator, the emergency call box, which just rings the front fucking desk. And the person
they actually hung up on us.
She was like, "What do you want me to do about it? Excuse me?
Could you get somebody to get us out? Could you figure it out?" And she hung up on us.
Yeah, she wanted nothing to do with it.
And so there was some hoisting going on at that point to try to get the cell service in there to call 911. We had to call 911 on our own.
Yep.
And say that we were stuck in an elevator in this Marriott in Nashville. And then by the time we got out,
big thank you to the Nashville Fire Department, by the way.
No, they were great. We had to be can we at least get a free drink? We need a shot after that, different things. And then once the general manager did hear about it, we did get points on our Marriott. Blah, 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 blah. But we will never stay there again, even though I'm an avid Marriott Rewards member. The Virgin Hotel is definitely our preference. They never disappoint. Yep. It's fantastic, and it's actually only $15 more a night.
Worth every penny.
And we end up getting a $30 voucher, meal voucher, so like we make that back up. So totally fine. But pleasant experience.
Yeah, they're great. So we went there and we stayed at the wonderful Virgin Hotel, but there were some things that took place during our time there. You had the list. Which ones do you think we need to hit on?
So I feel like every couple we encountered was like ready to like break up.
Yeah, I mean, at the pool.
Well, at the pool, at the bar, at happy hour, at dinner. Yep. Like, we were just, like, following people. Like, and Nashville's fantastic. It's live music. It's music all the time. It's, like, everyone is so polite. Everyone has a Southern twang. It's, like, laid back and relaxing. And for us, like, go, 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 New Englanders, like, sometimes it's tough to, like, slow your roll. And these people are, like, fisticuff fighting.
I think it's because, and I think I mentioned
this too. Well,
the alcohol, it's like Vegas for older people. Mm-hmm. So you and I are at the stage where, like, if we get a trip to Vegas and we go together for work, we'll do it for a weekend. I wouldn't mind going again at some point.
Which we've never done. But, so we've been so many times separately, we've never done that together, but we'll do it.
But the days of being excited over going to Vegas 8 times in a calendar year are over.
Like, completely.
I would much rather go to a place like Nashville.
Yeah.
And I got to feel like a lot of people in their 40s, 50s, and 60s feel the same way.
It's affordable.
But, like, what do you do once you get there? And we were there, and the weather was spectacular.
Oh, it was beautiful.
Perfect. So it's a beautiful day. Mm-hmm. You're on vacation. You got to pack fun into 3 days. You get up, you start drinking. And these people can fucking drink. And I'm telling you, that's why by 2, 3 o'clock, everybody's ready to fight. So we see the couple upstairs at the pool, and they've been married for a long time. You know they have.
Oh, and they're in a full-out argument, like screaming, yelling as if there wasn't like 50 people by them. And then they're continuing to order more vodka drinks. She's crying. He's leaving her there. It was
a shit show.
It was a complete shit show. And like at this point, like, I'm still answering work calls. You're still doing work emails and different things. We're just happy that we're, like, sitting by the pool, able to order a sandwich, sitting in the sun. But, like, I'm drinking a Coke. You're drinking a water. We're waiting till, like, 5 o'clock to get, like, a drink.
Yeah, I mean, it was a work day. I had meetings that day.
Yeah, like, well, no, that was Friday when we did the pool thing. But, like, Friday afternoon.
Yeah, who cares?
Well, I'm just saying, like, it was you had, like, your 4 meetings. Your meetings were done, but you're still answering emails.
Right.
You're still putting things in. So we're trying to wait and behave till, like, 5 o'clock Nashville time, because 6 o'clock is the end of the workday for me.
Yep.
And we also want to pace ourselves because we don't eat a ton. We eat very clean. If we start drinking heavy,
it's over.
We feel terrible the next day, and you don't want to feel terrible the next day when you're away.
I just want to get you to the right point where you loosen up in bed, and we did successfully get you there.
Good grief.
Once a show.
Okay.
You were spectacular,
by
the way.
Well, there you go. Well, we didn't argue.
It was so good, as a matter of fact, we had to change sides of the bed because by the time we were done, the side that we had sex on was so wet and just gooey that I said to you, because you complained, I said, so do you want to switch sides? Do you want to go on the dry side? You were like, yup. So I slept in our mess. It was gross.
Whatever. Anywho, moving on. So we leave the pool and we like go to our room, we shower, we get ready, we've ended our work day. We're like, all right, there's a happy hour downstairs. I've got the discount alcohol like ready to go. We're going to go get that. We're going to get a little appetizer, and then we're going to head to downtown and go to dinner. And we get down there and we experience another couple where we're watching the husband was massaging the shoulders of another woman. The wife comes down and flips the fuck out.
Well, she saw her husband's hands on another woman. Dare I say the other woman was
a little bit cuter.
Much cuter. And the wife, you know, I'm sure she's a wonderful person, but she's got a bad case of resting bitch face and instant tears, the anger, and then, you know, she wants to have a throwdown in front of like 40 people. Like, it's an inside bar, an outside bar. There's like at least a good 40 people there, and it's getting busier as the night goes on because the workday has ended. It's happy hour. So with every minute that goes by, there's another 2 or 3 people there, and this woman doesn't give a fuck. She is going at him, and he's just sitting there like, I didn't do anything wrong. And he's trying to be very chill about it.
Right, and so then she leaves, He goes chasing her, can't find her. He comes back to the bar. 15 minutes later, she comes back. They have a second showing.
At one point, the wife goes,
and then she sits across from the bar. Oh, no.
She stood behind.
Oh, she stood behind the woman.
Yeah, so at one point, I thought this was really going to go down. So she left her husband again. He's sitting over in the corner, and this woman comes up, seeks out the woman. That's your computer making that sound.
There you go. That's my problem.
So she seeks out the woman whose shoulder was getting the massage and stands behind her and hovers over her for a good couple. You knew she was contemplating murder at this point. I give her credit.
She was making gestures that the woman couldn't see behind her.
There were gestures being made, yes. Then she decides, I guess, I'm
going to come around the other side. I'm going to order a drink. I'm going to sit at in my spot by the column.
Yep.
And hide.
Yep.
And she's watching the whole thing go down. She's waiting to get a picture.
Well, she's firing off all these feverish text messages to her husband.
And you can see that they're arguing with each other via text message, but she's waiting for a photo.
Yeah.
She's waiting for a photo to use that as ammo to go home and file for divorce.
It's these people,
that's the story I'm telling in my head.
But these people, they all got on a plane. They all went to Nashville.
They all spent money.
They all spent a ton of money to what did I say to you when we were flying home? I'm so glad we did this. We desperately needed the 3 days to reconnect, and it was important. And it's got to be important for other people, too. These people, I think we saw the beginning of the end of two marriages.
Well, then there was the other couple that was at the end where the guy had lost all the weight that we also saw at the pool. That was clear was gastric bypass or something. Yeah. The wife hasn't hopped on board to that routine.
Nope.
And she's talking to the lady who was getting her shoulders massaged.
Yeah.
Shitting all over her husband who's sitting there that's now fit with clothes on, not with a bathing suit, but fit with clothes on.
Yep.
As she is not. And we're just that's a ticking time bomb on its way out, too.
They should have done that together or not done that
100%.
Yeah, it's we talked about that, too.
Yeah.
If one of us ever gets to that point where we're going to get fat together, if we decide to go on a diet or cut the wine out, we're going to do that together because there's no other way to do it.
Well, it's you can't have one couple decide they're going to quit smoking cigarettes where the other half of the couple stays smoking cigarettes.
Especially when that other half is going to keep ripping butts in front of the other one. You can't do it.
It had you're going to change your diet, you're going to do X, Y, and Z. You have to do it together as a couple. And if you don't do it together as a couple, it's instantly your demise, which was the couple that we ran it before we left. We were next to a woman who was at the bar who was I was married for 26 years. My husband got gastric bypass surgery. He found his penis again, and now we're divorced.
It's all over.
Right. And she's he doesn't drink, and we must have watched her put back 4 vodkas.
All right, so there was that. Then there was the rapey guy at...
So then we leave here. We're we're going to try and walk and go find happier area waiting for our dinner reservation. So we love the Gulch area. And I love Uncommon James. I am a Kristen Cavallari fan. It is what it is. And every time we go to Nashville, I go there, I buy something, and we get a drink at this Irish bar down there. One of our second, third date was at an Irish bar. We always find an Irish bar to go to. It's our thing to find on vacation. So there's a great Irish bar down there. So we go to the Irish bar, we get the drink, we're just recapping the shit show. And we're laughing at it, and we're just, hopping that happy hour. This is our second drink. We had the one drink, we saw all that.
Yep.
And then we went to the second happy hour. So we're on drink number 2. Mind you, we're drinking Mick Ultras. So, this isn't even hitting us.
Yeah, it's water.
And so Patrick gets up to go to the bathroom, and the bar is pretty open. And so a guy comes and sits down next to me. And I say, this seat's taken. My husband's in the bathroom.
There's a drink in front of my seat.
Yeah, I'm this seat's taken. My husband's in the bathroom. I got my dueling phones. I'm still answering a few work things, even though I'm not supposed to. But when you go to the bathroom, I try to sneak it in. And this guy keeps trying to talk to me. And I am knee deep in answering conversations on these phones. And I'm please stop talking to me. So he moves a seat over. One seat over. So Patrick comes back from the bathroom.
I do. And this guy is like grilling Katrina hard, like staring at you. I didn't know that he had attempted to make conversation with you. So the first thing I say to you is, did you notice that this dude can't keep his eyes off you? Like, he is just grilling you.
Meanwhile, you're saying this to me. I'm looking at you, and he's staring at me over your shoulder.
Super, like, rapey eyes, just undressing you in his brain. And it's like, what the fuck? Normally, if a guy makes the attempt and the boyfriend or the husband comes back, the guy's got enough respect for boyfriend, husband that
just be like, missed opportunity.
That's it.
Hey,
done.
It is what it is.
I'd give him a high five at that point.
Like, I'll take the compliment. It's flattering. Thank you. I still got it. Have a nice night.
That's it. But this guy couldn't take no for an answer. So
we get the bill and we leave because it's creeping me out. So we leave. We're going to go to Uncommon James. I buy my bracelet
it's like
set.
a 2 or 3 block walk from there.
So we're walking, and
we have a follower.
Well, not only do we have a follower, but then there's all these dogs that are getting walked, and I'm like total dog eye candy on this. So instead of crossing the street where we should cross the street, we go to cross the street, then we don't cross the street because 3 cute little dogs are going to walk by me. And I got to be like, ooh, like the doggies, like, I'm distracted by it.
Yep.
Nashville's very dog friendly. And so then here I am petting the dog, and this guy crossed the street when we were supposed to cross the street is following us.
Yep.
And is staring at me again. And I'm like, total fucking creeper.
Yeah, so we pay the bill, we start walking. We don't notice that apparently he says, my turn too. And he completely followed you to Uncommon James.
Which was a significant walk.
It was a decent sized walk. And it wasn't a coincidence that he was going in the same direction.
Like, we're walking by apartment buildings. We're walking in the back behind where parking is because we've been there so many times. Like, I'm walking the shortcut.
I think that if I had left you alone again, now he doesn't know about you. He doesn't know that you are
could fuck him
combat
up in 2 seconds.
Military trained.
Like pressure points, like, don't mess with me.
He probably thinks that you're just a pretty woman. And I said to myself, because at one point I had to pee, I'm like, I'm not leaving her again. I'm holding this because this guy was going to make an attempt that wasn't going to be polite. I feel like his first attempt was somewhat polite. The staring was creepy and rapey, but
you can just ignore it, walk away, remove yourself.
The conversation attempt, completely normal. It happens. Happens to me sometimes. Usually she's about 62.
It's okay.
But like, it's fine. It's either a really attractive young man or a 62-year-old woman.
Correct. That's your wheelhouse.
Right in my wheelhouse. But this guy was dangerously raping you with his eyes. So I'm glad that he eventually either had somewhere else to go or got the hint, because luckily when we left
I think he got freaked out that then I gave him like a nasty stare on like, you're following me? Are you kidding me?
You did.
So then I pet 2 more dogs.
You did.
And watched them like keep walking because he got caught. And then he stopped and looked at his phone, and we went to our destination of Uncommon James, and he wasn't walking in there. But he did stand out front in the parking lot for a few minutes.
For a little while, yeah.
And I took my sweet-ass time. I knew exactly what I wanted, but I took my sweet-ass time picking that out so we could avoid.
You bought 3 bracelets.
Well, they were for the price of 1. It was a good deal.
Yeah, it still doesn't come close to replacing the bracelet that you lost.
Of course not. But you did get a mini water.
It's very true. I got a free mini water. All right, we got time for one more. So this is funny. We're going to end with the singer's restaurant there. Whatever. Timberlake's restaurant. Right? The hummus place. 12:30. Yeah. So 12:30 club.
Well, and I'm describing this to him. We have a reservation here. We've been there before. He's like, what's the place? I'm like, it's the hummus place.
Hummus place.
The place with the good hummus.
So we go, and Timberlake owns the place, but he's, of course, never there. But the atmosphere is amazing. The live music there is
on point.
It's about as good as live music can get when it's not an artist that you've heard of. These guys are they're AAA. So if the music on the radio is professional, everybody that plays there is AAA. And you got to believe that because it's Timberlake's restaurant, that he holds his artists to a certain standard.
Oh, it's a certain standard, 100%.
And there's serious competition to earn your spot in there. Put it this way: the guys that were playing Tootsies at the airport are not the people playing.
Oh God, no, they were terrible.
Timberlake's Club.
Yeah.
So the band is great, and the music is awesome. The hummus is delicious, and we get a bottle bottle of wine, and halfway through my first glass, I got to pee. I come back from the bathroom and I look at you. I'm like, so you decided to remind me of this place because of the delicious hummus when all you had to say was it's that restaurant bar that has the unisex bathroom. It's one bathroom, like 5 stalls, and men and women are in there at the same time. They're mingling. Guys are in there dropping ass. Girls are like, this is gross. Girls are in there dropping ass. Guys are like, this is gross. It is this.
Women are doing their makeup and then if it's the first time in tourists, everybody's shocked. Everybody's shocked.
Everybody has the same look on their face. So I go in, I pee, I'm washing my hands, and I see 2 attractive girls, probably in their early 20s. Maybe they're there for somebody's 21st birthday, and they're wearing tight. One's got a tight dress on, one's got her tits hanging out of like a small shirt, and they go to round their corner to come in. They're right there.
But you do that, like walk in, like, oh my god, I just walked in the wrong bathroom.
Right? They were like, what? Like, there's a guy. I'm like, it's all right, ladies, come on in. Like, what do you say? It's the strangest thing. But the fact that
you come back to me, you're reminding me it's this place with the good music and the good hummus. You forgot to say that this is the unisex bathroom place?
It's like that's the headline here, okay? The headline is it's the unisex bathroom place because it's the most awkward thing in the world. If this were a single stall church scenario and men and women share it, I get it. No big deal. This is a giant restaurant, bar, entertainment venue full of hundreds of like attractive people. Like, it's a Friday, Saturday night. They're out there.
Like, to me, it's no big deal because this is the way it is in Spain. It's the way it is like in Manhattan.
Right. Global travel.
I've traveled several different places where there's unisex bathrooms. I've been to Comic-Con with Roger, my son, and that was a unisex bathroom.
This is different.
This is the way it goes.
This is different. These people are all hot. The girls are, how the girls dress in Nashville. The guys are all, think they're something. Everybody's out.
Everybody thinks they're a cowboy.
Right. Everybody thinks they're a cowboy. And you've got all of these
lots of alcohol has been consumed.
Attractive people doing the most unattractive things together. It is the strangest phenomenon in the world. Whatever, it works for them. It certainly does not stop the reservations from coming. That place is packed every night.
No.
So maybe this is the wave of the future. I hope it's not. Luckily, I did not have a stomach issue. The food is very good. I would not be comfortable
That's one of the reasons why we like going. It's very clean eating, and the music's fantastic.
I would not be comfortable. I'm saying this right now. We would be going back to the hotel. I would not be comfortable having a stomach issue in that bathroom setting.
No, but the next night where I made a dinner reservation, what a disappointment.
It's okay. I mean, look, you made one based on TV shows that you watch, and you thought it was going to be a celebrity chef, Italian restaurant. You actually talked it up, and we get there and it's not the atmosphere that you want. They sit us, despite the reservation, like right in front of a hot kitchen where the runners and the waitresses and waiters
like in the way.
And no hate on foreigners, because I love the Indian people, and my Indian best friend Jason, his family has fed me 1,000 times. They are awesome at what they do, and nobody makes spicy curry like the Lawrence family, and I'll have it every single time they make it for me. There was like 3 tables put together, probably 50 Indians. And I'm telling you, I don't think the sign of a world-class Italian restaurant is
fine dining.
Fine dining is the 50 Indians, judging it, because that's all that was in there.
Well, and the thing that really pissed me off is here I am, I made a dinner reservation a week before. I had to put my credit card down. The place is not packed, and we get the shittiest table ever by the kitchen. There's clearly no busboys on, that the wait staff is doing all their busboy, like cleaning the silverware, cleaning the wine glasses. We immediately go to order a bottle. It takes forever for a waitress to come over.
I faked a stomachache.
To order a bottle of wine. Then I watch the woman get the wine, and then 2 more people join the large party. And she decides to prioritize a large party, put the bottle of wine aside. We wait 15 minutes.
Yep.
Still no wine, still no silverware, still no glasses. We have gotten the stink eye by like 5 other servers for being at this table that's in the way. And I'm like, this is not the experience that I was going for.
But when you made the reservation, you had to put your credit card number down with the understanding that if you blow up the reservation, they're going to charge you.
And we can't really have a conversation about it because like everyone who works there can hear everything we're saying. We're that close to the kitchen.
So we're doing the conversation with our eyes.
With our eyes, which is fantastic.
So I was able to fake a stomach bug, and this girl,
well,
she tried.
So you fake the stomach bug. I play it up like, we just got here last night. He's had a little too much to drink. The smell of the food, like, is putting him over the edge.
She's like, what about some nice butter noodles? Like, nope.
I'm not going to pay for fine dining butter noodles.
Ginger ale and butter noodles is what she said. But I will say this, because we both said no, and we did it politely, and we did it the right way. I did ask, I said, we did have to put a credit card down. Do we have to worry about that? And she said, I'll take care. I'll go talk to the hostess. I'll take care of it. I hope you feel better. Then we immediately went to a restaurant that we love, went to the Palm. We split a delicious chicken parm, had a couple of good drinks. The bartender there was from Boston. He's awesome. If you're in Nashville this Thursday, he promises that the Celtics-Dallas game 1 will be on. And it was coincidentally my father's birthday. They overheard us talking about that. My father's been gone for 5 years. And we were planning on doing a shot of whiskey for him anyways, and they poured us a shot of incredible whiskey and didn't charge us for it because they overheard us talking about it being my dad's birthday, and this was going to be our happy birthday to you, Dad. I have nothing but great things to say about it. It
ended up working itself out so well.
It was perfect. So
thank God we can communicate with facial expressions.
That's it. Just if you can manage a way to do that in your relationship, it is priceless. I promise you. It might save you all the money in a divorce someday. It's incredible. So that was Nashville. We're back. The air conditioner is blowing cold. The internet is working kind of.
It's mediocre at best, but hopefully wonderful by 8 a.m. tomorrow.
That's the idea. Wonderful by 8 a.m. tomorrow. So by the time we're getting ready to go to work, God willing, the internet will be back operational at 100%.
I have like 5 hours of Zoom calls. Let's hope and pray.
The upstairs will be cold because of the new mini split air conditioning system that I gotta say, despite all the troubles, I am kind of proud of us. That is a significant task for DIYers to take on. And right now, 24 hours after starting that project, we have a mini split functioning, working, and blowing cold air throughout our upstairs.
With mediocre internet.
All right, that'll do it for week 19 of Let's Chat with Cat and Pat. If you like what you're listening to, please tell your friends. Find us on Apple, iTunes, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and of course, part of the Kirk Minahan Show on YouTube. Until next week, her name is Katrina. My name is Patrick. Bye-bye.